Good evening. Welcome to Staying Resilient Radio Show. I am Dr. Robin Lacey Smith, education consultant and author of the book Thoughts That Feed the Resilient Mind.
Wurd Smith, co-host of Staying Resilient, here with Dr. Robin.
Tonight we are dedicating our show to social media, and we are so fortunate to have a wonderful young lady with us this evening, Mr. Page's daughter.
Morgan Smith.
Morgan Smith is with us tonight, and we're going to have a discussion on social media. We have someone right here in the trenches that uses social media. It's going to help us see how it's affecting us, how they're using it, how it affects bullying. We're going to talk about the auspices of it and what may happen when you're using it inappropriately. And how teenagers are using it, and then also some adults, how they're using it, because I guess Mr. Page and I can comment on that. So I'm looking forward to that. So please stay resilient and listen to us for the rest of the night, and get your teenagers, call your nieces and nephews, make sure they're on, and make sure they call in 215-634-8065. Make sure they call us so we can hear the comments, because we have to all stay resilient in this social media Mongol, because it's huge. Okay, it's here to stay. It's actually here to stay. I used to always think it may go away, but it's here to stay. That's right. So we want to find out. You have to go. We might as well go along with it. Stop fighting it, because it's here, like you said, to stay. So please, again, the number is 215-634-8065. We ask that you stay tuned. Let your sons and daughters, your nieces and nephews, let them know we'll be talking about social media tonight. All right, tonight we have sponsors. Of course, every night we do. Thank God, or we wouldn't even be here. But our sponsors tonight are Kimball Funeral Home, High Stakes Educational Services, Dynamo Cleaning Company, and Page One Enterprises, okay? So we're very happy for our sponsors, because they afford us to be able to be here and talk to you tonight, all right? Unfortunately, death is part of life, and we want to ensure our loved ones have the best services and you have the best support during this difficult time. Call Kimball Funeral Home. They are chosen by those who want the best for their beloved ones. Kimball Funeral Home is conveniently located at 1100 North 63rd Street. They provide all funeral services to help with this important but essential transition. And I want to say that's really close to City Line Avenue, so it's not far from City Line Avenue. Kimball at 215-818-6990 to help you and your family stay resilient during this difficult time. Again, the number is 215-818-6990. Ask for Ivan Kimball. Have a wonderful weather, and of course you like to be in a clean environment, so I'm going to request that you use Dynamo Cleaning Services. They are licensed and insured, and also provide carpet installation and carpet cleaning. Call 215-888-4639. Mention Resilient and receive 10% off their services. And of course, if you're using Kimball, which I also suggest, just make sure you mention Resilient so that you can get additional services, okay? You want to call 215-888-4639 for cleaning services. Make sure that you don't put that off any longer. Again, for carpet installation, being at its best, call 215-888-4639. We have High Stakes Educational Services. I just want to let you know that if you're interested in some Staying Resilient workshops to help your program participants, or to help with your employees stay resilient and stay on task with your mission, whatever that is for your company and or service, please call 610-310-8559, 610-310-8559 for Staying Resilient workshops, and you'll also receive 10% of their services to implement that for you. Okay, we want you to make sure that you stay resilient throughout this show. Again, the number is, because we got comments that say we don't say the number enough. I'm saying it more and more, and we realize we had many callers before, but somehow they were not getting through. So the number is 215-634-8065, because is the phone considered part of technology?
Yeah, absolutely it is. I mean, today with everything going on with digital phones and how we use our phones today, it is a key component of technology today.
Okay, so it is technology, because we don't no longer really dial with our fingers. It's much more advanced. Our phones can get online and all of that. So yes, it is. So we need to use that technology tonight, ladies and gentlemen, so that we can continue this incredible discussion, okay? And tonight, again, I'm glad that we have Miss Morgan Alexis Lee Smith with us tonight, and she will talk to. She is a junior. She'll be a junior this coming year. Mm-hmm. She's completing her sophomore year, the same as my son. Okay, thanks for staying resilient and staying with us. Tonight, our discussion is dedicated to social media. We're going to be talking about bullying, schoolwork, dating, etc., and the social media issues that we run into. And right now we have Morgan Alexa Lee Smith with us tonight. She is the daughter, she's beautiful too, the daughter of Mr. R. Page Smith. Mr. Smith?
Yeah, so I am certainly delighted to be here with my beautiful daughter. You talk about, teenagers and social media, we dads and our daughters get a little, the hair goes up on the back of our neck right as they grow. Mm-hmm. And my other daughter wanted to be here this evening, and went on the internet. Morgan talks about how she enjoys YouTube and watching videos and things of that nature. Different websites such as Tumblr, as well as online shopping. And I know about the online shopping because I always get the phone call and says, "Well, Dad, here's the link." Mm-hmm. So as you get into these sites and you talk about YouTube and you talk about music, from the perspective of a 15-year-old young lady, tell us about how you enjoy leveraging social media to stay connected.
Well, YouTube specifically, it's like you can listen to music, you can learn about other people's viewpoints and things like that, and it's really enlightening to kind of find a perspective on all kinds of different topics, like social topics. Even on social media, we talk about social media, so yeah.
Oh, wow.
So give us an example. Like if Dr. Robin and I were on social media, we're typically on, LinkedIn and those type of websites that keep us connected professionally. Mm-hmm. I don't use Facebook as much. Most folks who know me know that I'm not a big Facebook person. But I know within certain cultures as well with certain adults, it's a huge communication tool. So when you talk about having these conversations with your friends, take us a little deeper.
Well, as far as Facebook goes, nobody around my age group really uses it that often anymore because you usually use it to stay connected with your friends. And when you go to school every day and you see them, there's not really much to talk about over the internet.
That's exactly what my son said, Mom. Nobody uses Facebook.
Yeah, I mean, to check up on people.
And my son's 15 as well. He said, Mom, we don't use Facebook. They do Twitter, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So tell me about the Twitter, because that's what he said, that we do Twitter. We don't do Facebook, Mom. That's for older people. That's what he said.
Well, Twitter, it's really just to talk about what you're doing at that specific moment in time, just kind of updating people on what's going on in your life or your friends' lives and stuff. And you can follow a bunch of celebrities and figure out what new songs are coming out, what flows are coming out, just things like that. It's just to stay updated and just to talk about things. You can kind of just discuss anything you want to.
But that's what I'm confused about. Okay, so Twitter. So if you and I tweet each other, I don't know how you would say it. Like, okay, so. And you have other friends, you have to accept friends for tweeting, and then, so if I just put something out there, say I tweet you, however that's done, because I don't do it, and you are responding, does everyone on whoever you are friends with, whoever you tweet with, and everyone I tweet with, we all see the same tweet? Like, how does that work?
Well, some people, you can private your account, so not everybody can tweet at you or see your tweets or see pictures or like direct message you. But if you and I were having a conversation and we're both public Twitters, then everybody can read our conversation. But if I'm public and you're private Twitter, then they can just read mine, or you have to accept them and then they can read it. So
that's how you're able to follow stars, because they're public.
Yeah, they're all public.
Okay.
Now, what's the advantage and disadvantage from one, if any? Is there an advantage over using Twitter versus Facebook? And do you have any familiarity with Tumblr?
Okay, so with Twitter, it's, well, on Facebook, you're really just kind of posting pictures. Where when I used it, you were just kind of posting pictures and doing like, how do you feel about this person? And they were called like, to be honest, and how you feel about this person. But we don't kind of do that thing anymore. We kind of just go on Twitter just to talk about what we're doing and things like that. It's just a lot more popular, but it's a lot easier. So people can post anything. I mean, they still can post anything, inappropriate things too. And so is there times that you see inappropriate things that you say? All the time.
All the time?
All the time.
So see, and you're so pretty and young, and I'm like, and when I looked at my son, I said, who's this, Mom? I don't know, it's not. Well, why is it on your phone?
Yeah.
So you can't control that. Is that correct?
Well, you can unfollow people who post things that you don't necessarily want to see, but you don't have to. So if they can post something inappropriate, and then the majority is just things that you want to hear about. And so that kind of determines who you follow.
That like on Facebook, so if I see something they keep posting, I could just say, please take this off. I don't want to follow that person anymore.
You can hide it from your feed, or you can just unfriend them.
How about proactive security? If you see can you see something that prior to that information being displayed, or those pictures being displayed, you have the editing capabilities to say, you know what? I don't want this on my site. I don't want this on my page. So I can block it before it even gets out there on the internet. Are those type of security features built in?
It all depends on what you're using. On Tumblr, you can censor your feed, so you can kind of determine what is shown to you. I use Tumblr a lot, so it's just kind of a platform for expressing yourself. With
like a blog?
Yeah. It's like a blog. That's actually exactly what it is. Yeah, it's like a blog. That's actually exactly what it is. It's basically a platform to express yourself and like put out your material, whether it's like music or art or writing, and
that's like a website.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a website, and you express yourself, and do they use their names, or they use fun name? I mean, do they use another name?
You can use a different name. You can use your name. You can use both.
Mm-hmm.
It all just depends on what you're.
Okay. So so you're looking at all these things, all these tweets on here,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because it kills me when they say, well, it doesn't kill me because I'm still breathing and talking,
Yeah.
but it confuses me when they say, I'm gonna follow you. And so they were following me. I said, I don't know how you follow me. It's me. You know, but they want to follow you. And so my sister, thank you, Marsha. My sister, I just called her, can you just give me a tweet name or whatever, and a tweet account? So I have one, but I don't really use it. I was at one point, I think the way I first did it, I was watching X Factor or something. And it was a guy on there that was doing James Brown, and they were saying to follow him, and I found him very interesting.
Was he like covering James Brown?
Yeah, so I did something like that, but that only lasts a minute. But then you get them to your emails now.
Mm-hmm.
Once you open it up. Right, now they want to email you Elon or Ivana Trump. And she has all the
Donald Trump.
Yes, his daughter.
Okay.
Yes. Like that, but so all right, the tweet. Do they call it tweet? When do you call it when you tweet?
Yeah, when you send a tweet.
You say your tweet.
You send a tweet.
Okay. All right, and so when most kids are on their phone, right? Because you guys are really good. You do
Yeah.
You're doing tweet most of them.
Yeah, most times, or just texting or going on Instagram. And
that's what I was talking about. Instagram, right.
Yeah, it's like you can just kind of post photos instead of you can't write on Instagram. You just post photos. It's like a photo sharing.
And you have to figure out what you're doing or where you are, because you really can't put any words with it.
No, you can caption it. You can write what it is you're doing in the picture underneath the picture, and you can like tag your like where you are and people in it, and like people who are in the picture. You can tag them and stuff like that.
So I have a few more, and as I mentioned them, just say popular or not so popular in terms of the teen set. Okay, so we talked about Facebook, we talked about Instagram, we talked about Twitter. How about Pinterest?
I don't really use Pinterest. I think it's like medium. Maybe I don't really use Pinterest.
Vine?
Vine's really popular because
okay, so what's Vine?
Vine's like 6-second videos, and the reason it's so popular is because it's a quick laugh. It's only 6 seconds. You can only post 6-second videos, so that's why it's really popular.
Right. How about
and
Reddit?
Use it. I actually don't really know what that is.
Oh, Reddit. Okay. Kik, K-I-K.
Kik used to be popular. It was popular for a short amount of time because it was like you can message random people and they don't find out your phone number or anything about you really. So
Kik is now first cousins with MySpace. And
Yeah.
they're hanging out at the beach.
yeah.
Oh,
And they're no longer part of the popular crowd.
I
Okay,
get,
I got
yeah. It was popular. As
Okay.
MySpace.
How about Snapchat?
Snapchat's really popular. Oh yeah, it's just kind of you sending a picture of what it's like Instagram kind of, but it's shorter term.
Okay.
Instagram, you have a profile and you post a picture and it stays on your profile, but Snapchat, you can send it for as long as you want and write whatever you want to and send it to who you want to. It's just
Okay.
a wider range.
4chan?
I'm not familiar with 4chan.
Okay. Wanello?
Wanello used to be really, really cool. It's just kind of items that you can buy, so.
Okay, two more. Feed, P-H-E-E-D?
It's not really popular with me or among my friends, but I've heard of it, definitely.
Snapchat?
Snapchat, yeah. So.
I asked about Snapchat? Okay. And then one more.
Okay.
Because all the dads want to know about this one.
Okay.
Okay? Match.com.
Match.com. I heard it's really popular among the young females. No. Match.com is a no.
We just want to make sure that you don't know that one.
Okay, yeah. Obviously, they have commercials and stuff. Oh, wow. I didn't use Match.com.
I had to throw one in there, Robin, just to make sure.
Right. My question is, it was something that, can someone steal your account or be you? Because there are, from what I understand, when I was an administrator of schools, that there were, they can say that wasn't really me, they stole my account, and they were doing things to say that this person said it, and that's how fights and other things start from that. And the media. So can they do that?
Yeah, that's kind of the negative side of it, is you can be whoever you want to be on the internet, whether it's yourself or somebody else, you can be whoever you want to do. So that's
because that's really important that parents know that, and that other teenagers know that, because they may be have an image out there that's really not them, because people can be you. And so that's why those things your dad was talking about, having some kind of perimeters on what's happening and the guidelines to help someone not get in your account and be you, because it really can be very harmful, and you can get into a lot of trouble.
And that brings up another great question. When you talk about the negatives, are you aware of, any friends, associates, what have you, that have experienced bullying due to the proliferation of social media? And if so, how do they manage that? I mean, how do they manage the fact that technology is being used, and maybe paint an unflattering picture of a young person at that point in time in their life when they're highly impressionable? How do you overcome that, especially within like a high school setting, or those type of things where once the rumors and once the things get rolling, whether they're true or false, that unfortunate young man or young lady has got to deal with it?
Well, I think the easiest thing with dealing with bullying, it's very popular, but I think the reason bullies use social media as a platform for bullying is because it takes no courage. You're not saying it to their face or anything like that.
That's a good point. That's a great point.
It takes no courage. You can just, and also, which goes back into like making fake accounts. You can make a fake account and then be mean to somebody on that fake account, so nobody would ever know who you were. And in high school, it is kind of difficult, just because if you do have a bully, you see it all the time if they go to your school. But you can always go to your guidance counselor, talk to your friends about it.
And you should, because sometimes it's hard for other friends to believe you.
Yeah.
Especially when it's happening, because again, I was a building administrator and a district administrator, and I've had to break up fights, and when they came to my office, the fight was because of something social media.
Yeah.
And no, neither one could really prove the other one, but that's what they were fighting about. Like, they couldn't prove that it was you, and she couldn't prove it was him, but that's what happened. You know what I mean? So
there's also a lot of embarrassment too, because if I have a bully and they're just posting something on Twitter, Facebook, or anything on Instagram, it's just open. Anybody can see it. Anybody can know this thing about me. You know what I'm saying? So that's where a lot of the anger stems from too. It's not just because of bullying, but also because other people see it.
But I wonder what prevents, if two individuals have an issue, based on false information, where social media has been leveraged as a tool to get that information out there, as opposed to letting it heat up. Very seldom today do you see two individuals coming together and say, hey, let's just talk about this, you and I, because that's not my handle. I didn't put that out there. Someone is behind the scenes saying that I'm saying negative things about you, but hear it from me directly. That's not the case.
No, they're probably not going to do that, because most times they're afraid to even approach you because of what's already been out there. So they don't think you're even going to even listen to them. They may think you already come and punch them, because that's what they're trying to do. There's someone else in the background, like you said, behind the stage, that is setting it up and watching it happen. And that's what's the confusing part. And that's not even getting to how the videotaping, all the phone things, oh my goodness. And I've had students come to me and show me phone things that their teachers were doing. So, that's the God truth. So they use the phone for so many things, just to videotape and to say that this is true, because look. So, and you've had breakout, and they couldn't even put, say that somebody did it, but yes, they did, because look, here it is. Proof. Here's the proof. So that phone, that instant being able to videotape, is really something else. It has created all kinds of things. So that's another big bullying thing, because you can't say that he was bullying, but you have a picture of him and showing him video. There's those other things your dad was telling you about, the Vine and all, they should use some of those things, right? They with the bullying.
Yeah, posting all of that is really all just for attention. It's all to get like likes or follows or hits or whatever. It's all just for attention.
Yes, it is very touching because people have died from social media. Isn't that something? So that goes that far, where because of something that was done, people have been robbed from social media, all of that stuff. It's happened because of that, and they started trying to put some things in Congress that will help the internet situation and the social media, but it is huge now.
Yeah.
So, as we talked about earlier, it's only going to grow, right? I mean, social media is here to stay. There are, more and more sites that are being created every day. And a lot of these sites, I think, are being created specifically targeting the teen population. Okay, because that's where they're going to get their greatest, what I call street credibility in terms of what's using. My daughter brought up a great point. Facebook isn't as popular as it used to be because I believe in the mindset of many kids. Well, hey, now my parents are on Facebook, and as a teenager, once your parents get on it, exactly,
they want it to be quick.
But once your parents get on it,
you don't want
it loses its cool factor.
Because my sister was following all of her nieces and nephews. I mean, so as soon as you go to another thing, which is good for parents to know what it is so they can keep a track of it, because it's really, really just so broad and so big now. And I don't know, we go back into the schoolwork now and how important it is that even a school district now, if you don't have where your parents can go on and see your kids' grades and things like that, then what are you really doing? So now, so now parents have to be able to go on the internet, check out their students' grades, respond to, they have it where you can respond to the important papers that have to be at school and everything. You don't really have to even go into a building anymore. You can do everything on the internet. And most school districts are transitioning to that because, like your dad said, the internet is here to stay. I mean, the technology, and they're using it to benefit, I think, everyone in some way, because now the schoolwork, I think that's when, tell us about the schoolwork. How do you utilize it as far as schoolwork?
Well, I always check my grades, even in school, as soon as a teacher puts a grade in, I just want to check it, make sure my GPA is okay.
Very good. Say that again, please.
Just want to check it, make sure my GPA is okay.
Okay, one more time for 3. Yeah.
Make sure my GPA is okay.
Okay, that's so.
And she has a great GPA, I must say.
Wonderful. That's what we do. That's what you should do.
Yeah.
When I was in school, you had to wait weeks to find out what you have. You had to wait weeks to get a grade back from a test you took. Yeah. Now everything is just like that, so that's good. So how else? Go ahead. I think that's
you can look at individual grades too on it's called Parent Portal.
I do it.
Yeah, and then so you can go on and check each individual grade, like what you got on an essay, a specific test, stuff like that.
Yeah, and it's plus for parents out there that are listening. Plus, is very good. What I do is tell all of my son's teachers that please email me immediately. But they send grades every week.
Really?
Yeah, I send it but you can ask, do you want them every week? Do you want them every 2 weeks? Do you want them, so I ask for them every week. And that way I can see how slow or fast the teacher is actually doing the work, because you'll see if they mark this down or whatever. But I think it's also a good tool so that you can get familiarized with your students, your son or daughter's teachers, so that they are open to email you. So parents that are not, and everyone still needs some more, to know how to even get on the internet. There's so many free classes just to introduce you to the basics of the internet, and I would encourage everyone who hasn't done it to do it. There are a lot of free classes that are available for that, just to know the internet, because this is your dad saying again, it's here to stay, and you have to know how to get around in that, because you won't, soon you won't even be getting letters in the mail, that kind of thing, because you're eventually going towards that. Everything. I emailed you. Did you get the email? And you sometimes you say, listen, I don't have email. Okay, and they still send you that. But then they'll say, go to the library. And everyone, I don't know. I just think that if you don't know the internet or you don't know what to do, then you should just take a quick class about it. You can go work in the daytime and take an hour class in the afternoon, or after you get home from work, 2 or 3 times a week, just so that you can know and be in touch with what your child is doing. Because many times I've also experienced where the children knew so much more, which my son does too, as far as social media, than I do. So I need to try to stay in it to win it. I know exactly what's going on, and they're not saying one thing, but it's really something else.
And here's the reality from a technology perspective. We talk about being able to access the internet and having computers and things like that. The reality is, if you have a cell phone, okay,
Yeah,
you have access to that information.
sure.
And parents today have the ability to be much, much more connected to what's happening with their kids in school. And you talk about having grades online and having that visibility. You know, being able to access that information via a link on your cell phone. It really removes, you know, just as recent as maybe 5 years ago, you know, you had to have a tablet or laptop. Technology is always changing, always being updated. You know, technology companies are trying to make it so you have access to the World Wide Web and any other information that you want to research and you want to have readily available via your
And that's
cell
good to
phone.
know, right, parents, because you have a cell phone. I'm sure you have an updated cell phone. Even a flip phone still were able to
Even
do
some of
that.
the flip phones.
So
That's
you
correct.
have it, and if you don't know how to do that, if you don't want to take the class, just say, listen, show me how to do this to your nephew, your niece, a neighbor, anybody, and they can show you. It's not that difficult because my son still shows me things. And so it's really important. What I want to do, we're going to take a little 2-minute break, but when we come back, we're going to talk more about how you get the help you need, and like if you're out of school, how you can still get the help you need via the internet. Okay?
All right.
All right. So we'll be right back. Okay, listeners, we're back for Staying Resilient. We have with us in the studio tonight Mr. Page's daughter, and I'm going to stop saying that because I know I used to always say that's Miss Joyce's daughter. Well, she has a name, and her name is Morgan at Henderson High School in Westchester, Pennsylvania. And we're talking about social media. And Miss Morgan has been giving us a lot of information on what's going on in the social media network. And we encourage you to call in 215-634-8065. We talked about the bullying. We talked about the problems that come out to be violent from the inappropriate use of the social media. And we started to talk about schoolwork in school and social media. And we were talking about how parents can use it to really find out, access immediately what's going on with your child, your son or daughter, and you can even make it more convenient for you and email teachers, make sure you have the email address. And typically we would
policing that type of
you
would call the people that you want to be there. Yes.
Exactly right. So
Exactly.
let's see, it's not dangerous to even use that venue to even post to have a party. Don't you agree?
I agree with you. Actually has a project posted on Twitter.
That's really dangerous.
He wasn't even the one who posted it. It was someone.
Okay, there you go. Wow, someone else posted it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I have another question. Don't leave us, Lexi, because you can join us on this discussion. It's a question about, maybe you experience this too, but it's important for us to have text on our child's phone. They rarely talk on the phone. Is that true?
Yeah, that is true.
You know, that's true for a lot of adults.
Really? Yes, but they
We talked about
rarely,
that last week.
they rarely talk on the phone. Is that right? Like, so, party, how are you going to really articulate that to your friends? How would you do that?
Yeah. And posting it on Twitter. I would probably just text it.
Okay.
I tell my parents about it.
Oh, well, that's good, Lexi.
There's like set a limit to how many people. But usually, the thing with iPhones is you can do a group.
Oh, okay.
That's a feature where you can add more than 2 people or so.
That's true. I know that much, Lexi. Thank you. But I do use that myself. You know, put them in a group, and those are the ones, your good friends that you would want to invite, and you just send it to them. But back to my question, what about talking on the phone? How much do you use the phone to actually talk to your friends?
Well, and Morgan can probably, because you probably have received numerous messages from me where I say, baby, call me.
Yeah, he does that all the time. The thing with texting is like, It's really, when you're talking to somebody, you obviously want to keep the conversation going. And when you're texting, you can think about it. Think about what you're a statement that could keep the conversation going. When you're on a phone call with somebody, it's usually just one after the other after the other. And sometimes, or you could be busy doing something. Like I could be busy somewhere where I can't talk, like in school. I don't know.
Sure. So you're texting and not listening to something else.
Yeah. Texting is a lot easier to multitask.
Yes, but yes, that's exactly right. That's why it's sometimes it's not appropriate because you really can't say what it is you really want to say because you are trying to get an emotion across, and they use the funny faces and all that. But still, I think it's removing the art of conversation, if you know what I mean, like to actually talk to someone. I think so. Again, my question, Lexi and Morgan, is do you use the phone to talk instead of your dad saying call me? Do you actually call other people and talk to them, or you just always text? Like if I were to look at your phone bill, how many calls would it have on there?
You'll see like 5 calls now from my dad.
See? So you guys are really not using your phone.
There's data utilization, right? Which is all the text messages.
Right. So you're really not using the phone. So that's what I said. And unfortunately, Verizon, who is my provider, I want to say, listen, my son just needs text. We don't need him on the phone because he doesn't literally text on the phone. Mm-hmm. Only to me. Like I'll say, Zabri, call me, the same thing. But they everything. That's what my point is. And that is losing the art of conversation, to be able to verbally speak to someone. Do you agree with that, Lexi? Or you say, no, we're going to keep texting?
Agree with that because thing with face that's another feature on the app, which is a video.
Right.
And enjoy that because we're like seeing people's facial expressions.
Well, that's good.
It's almost thing to happen.
Well, I think that's really a good point. And again, the texting, you're like hiding behind words, because you really can't
but
see the person.
Here's the key question now, and this goes out to Lexi as well as to Morgan.
Lexi?
Have you ever had a text message misinterpreted, and now you have an expectation set with a friend or group of friends that goes down the wrong path because the interpretation was incorrect? So one of the things that we talked about on the program last week was communication, and how many times text messaging and emails, you can get the intent of what you're trying to accomplish with an individual or group of individuals. It can get lost sometimes in translation. Has it ever happened to you, ladies, as teenagers? And then what are some of the consequences, if you will, when that does occur?
Well, I mean, like in texting, you can never really figure out what somebody's tone is. That's the big thing, is tone. Somebody could be angry, and what could result from that is like somebody could be coming off as hostile towards you, maybe because they misinterpreted something or you misinterpreted something. So yeah, and that goes back to Lexi's point. You need to see the facial expressions, and you'll get a better idea of what they're really doing, because like you said, it's a multitasking. So I may be texting back, okay, no, but I'm really a little annoyed. You see what I mean? But you don't know that because you can't see the person. So FaceTime is a good point, Lexi, because we didn't talk about FaceTime, and I know that's a good way that I stay connected, that my family stayed connected with ones who are away at college, and they could always see them. They would use FaceTime so that you can actually see and talk to them, because there's nothing like seeing a person, and like you said, and seeing their facial expressions, and you can't do that. Me being an administrator for many, many years, would send an email and wish I could take it back because the tone was in my email. The tone was in there. Right. We know how to get a tone in there when we want to, but then
all caps does a lot.
When you're very, but sometimes we didn't have all caps then. You see what I mean? So sometimes that was something that was created. Right. But sometimes you don't have a tone in there, but you're just very direct and to the point when you want to have more frillies in there, but they're not in there, so you receive it a different way. But again, Lexi, thank you for taking the courage. I am going to make sure, Lexi, you're going to give your information to our producer in the studio, so hold on, because I want to send you an electronic copy of my book, okay?
Thank you, Lexi.
And I want you to respond and let me know what you think about it, because for my understanding, a lot of teenagers are enjoying it as well, okay?
Awesome.
Thank you. Thank you so much for calling in, Lexi. Take care.
So when you talk about FaceTime, brings up another question. Skype. How many kids today use Skype? Is Skype used as a tool? If, back in our day, if you want to work with a fellow student to get homework done, then I'm gonna meet at your house, you're gonna be at my house. Today, technology simplifies the equation. Let's Skype. Do you guys use Skype to study and co-study and do things like that?
Yeah, you can use Skype, you can use Uvu. Uvu is like a video chatting website as Skype is. And FaceTime is the same exact thing, except for not everybody has a laptop or a video camera that they can attach onto a computer. So, and if you have an iPhone or like a smartphone, FaceTime's always there. You can do the same thing with Skype, it's just more portable.
And that's true because again, it's so much more. I think it's imperative to use that even in the business field. When we had conference calls, now they like to have the Skype, so they want to see, you can actually see the person as they talk to see how committed they are to what they're saying. So you just still don't know what the commitment is behind the texting. You still are losing the real art of conversation again because you really don't know what the person really feels, because I can text with something else but it really feels something different. Yeah. You can see it on a person when they're talking to you, like, she's really not even serious, like that.
FaceTiming somebody, actually looking at their face and calling on the phone, it's a lot more personal.
It's a little about person, right? Okay, we have Nikki on the phone from Westchester. Hi, Nikki, how are you?
Mary Kate, actually.
Oh, hi, Mary Kate.
So, I actually talked to my brother who is in Vietnam right now, and we talked to him on Skype, and it's incredible because he's like it's like he's in our own living room when we're talking to him.
Yeah, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. And do you do that often, or you have certain times you do it?
Yeah, we actually talk to him about once a week on Skype.
And so everyone can have the opportunity to sit around and speak to him and see him.
Yeah, we all sit in our living room. It's like this wide camera, and he sees us, and he's on his little laptop camera. And it's amazing, actually. It's incredible, and he's wide screen on our screen.
I think that's wonderful, and also it lends to the name of the show, Staying Resilient. You're helping him stay resilient in his position, and you're staying resilient knowing that he's okay because you can see him. So that's wonderful.
And one thing to your point, when you have family members who are traveling abroad, especially folks who are traveling internationally, it is nothing like being able to see the face back here in the States. And, I can remember those days when I was in Germany and Italy and all these different places around the world. But when you have that ability to see the face,
that's something,
and you're thousands of miles away, it makes a tremendous difference. And again, it's a great example of how technology is making the world smaller.
And that's because even though you can talk, say on the phone and they say that I'm okay, it's nothing like seeing that they're okay.
They could be lying.
Yes, thank you so much, Nikki. I think that's great. But Nikki, hold on, because I have a question about, we're going to move into, do you utilize technology to date or to have a date?
Use to plan things out, meetings.
Okay, good.
People place to go to and stuff like that.
So you just use it to meet up, kind of thing. Yes, to meet up like friends, because everyone today, and just tell me if I'm wrong, are besties. It's not like you don't have he's not my boyfriend, he's just the bestie, or she's not my girlfriend, we're just besties, right?
It's not straightforward like that.
Well, you guys think they're more complicated, but the reality is we still want to have that young man come home and meet your dad and meet your uncles and sit down. We want to shake his hand and make sure he understands that there's a grip behind the daughter.
Yeah. So it's funny because you guys, even on prom or dances and everybody goes together. It seems like we're all going together. You're not with him, he's not with you, but we're just all together, correct?
Yeah. We're all with besties.
Yeah, if you're friends with a guy and you're good enough friends to know that you're just going as friends, that's sort of
right. So how do you use the term besties? Tell me, how do you use that? Mary Kate? Say Mary Kate.
Yeah, Mary Kate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Friends besties or friends, stuff No, I just guys, my friends.
Right. Now that's funny you said that, because my son will reference girlfriends as his besties. Okay, so he won't say that's my girl. He said, "Oh, my."
Now, how old's your son? How old's your son?
15.
He's 15.
Right.
Okay.
So you won't say it about guys, but guys are saying it about girls. You know what I mean?
Well, my
Yeah.
daughters tell me they don't exist.
Okay. Okay.
What the guy friends?
That's right. The guy friends don't exist, Dad.
Yeah.
Of course not.
Okay.
No.
So what do you say? You just say he's just my friend.
Yeah, just friends. You always say just.
Just friend.
Gotta make it clear.
Uh-huh.
Just friends.
Okay.
I gotta meet your dad.
Yes, have you ever been, when you and your girlfriends or whatever, have you ever been where you still utilize social media to kind of meet a person? Not that, but just to meet them, like saying you might be your girlfriend and you say, well, here, listen, I'm just going to give you his name or whatever, and you meet through texting or anything like that. Have you ever had that happen?
No.
So, like,
I-
giving like my friends like phone numbers.
Oh,
Him.
That's correct. Thank you for that honesty, because I know it happens, because I hear teenagers talk about it, but not with me, but I'm always listening and observing, because I'm in the field of education, so I'm always listening and observing, and they definitely do it. He said, here's his number, just text him. And you get to know each other through texting, really, maybe not even seeing his face yet.
But it's never usually a complete stranger. Like your friend usually knows.
That's what I mean, a friend.
We don't usually just like talk to complete strangers.
No, I said it'd be your friend. You would say,
okay.
here, I'm just going to give you his number or something, and you can text him, and you start to text each other. Oh, I texted him, and he said this. Oh, I texted her, and she said that. Okay.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure. I'm not saying that you text him and say, okay, we're going to go out to whatever. Usually, whenever you even do that, you're into another group setting, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's always to be safe. It should always be in a group setting.
Yeah.
Okay, do you want to give anything else? We're so excited that you called in, and thank you so much for your experience and giving your insight on this topic.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you for calling in. All right, have a good night. Bye-bye. Okay. All right, so our last topic is what would you want to tell parents to look for with social media when they have a teenager or a younger, a preteen, that is really almost there, So what do you suggest or want to give them some insight or some pointers about?
I think it's really difficult only because it's so easy to keep your accounts private as far as having your parents know about it, because it's not like your parents use your phone or go on your accounts. The only real way is to like restrict them or make them give you passwords and stuff like that. There's no real way to.
That is the way. The passwords. I have my son password, and I'll take his phone anytime and just see if it still works. So that's the way, parents. I'm gonna tell you, get his password and check it every now and then. When they do put their phone down sometimes,
So you heard
and
that
you
from-
pick that right back up. That's right.
So you heard that from a 15-year-old young lady, right?
Mm-hmm.
Parents are never on vacation.
Mm-hmm.
That's parenting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And until your child gets to a certain age, you have to constantly be aware.
Yeah.
Because sometimes they could be entering an arena that is risky and not even know about it.
That's correct.
Okay, but you as a parent have the wisdom and the guidance and the intellect to recognize we don't want to go down this path.
Yeah, and
So-
the other thing, though, not to cut you off, but the other thing about that page is that they may not even know what they're doing, right? And
In some
we
cases,
definitely
you're absolutely
don't know
right.
what they're
Yes,
doing.
that's right.
However, if they do know what they're doing, and us having a password, and we pick it up and do it anyway, they're going to do it because they don't know when you're going to pick the phone up again and put the password in. However, the danger is still there because they may be doing it and not even knowing that they are doing it.
And even
Correct?
more so today because, one thing that, a lot of kids don't realize is that anytime you're using these various social media sites, okay, people with the right expertise have the ability to chime in on conversations uninvited.
You can get your accounts hacked.
Yeah, you can have your accounts hacked. So that technology exists. And a lot of times you can be communicating with someone that you may think is a fellow student, but that person can be an adult.
Yeah.
And unbeknownst to you, you're having conversations with someone that you think is within your peer group, you think is the same age, and that person can be twice your age.
That's correct.
So the dangers, if you will, and I say, whether you are a young man or a young lady in your teenage years using social media, whether you're shopping online, once your information is in cyberspace, okay, especially in the digital era that we're living in today, it is an opportunity. There are opportunities to get that information.
Mhm.
You know, I'm very risk avoidance to shopping online. Look at all the problems that they just had recently with Target. And I guarantee there are other retailers that are having similar problems.
Michael's, they did.
Michael's, okay?
Well,
And there are probably some companies out there that aren't even announcing the types of cybersecurity issues that they're having. So cybersecurity is real.
mhm.
And it's definitely real when it comes to how your children are communicating, leveraging social media.
Right.
Something
That's
that parents have to constantly be on top of.
And so I just want parents to know that the only thing I can say with listening to you, Morgan, is that it's important to have your child's password.
Yeah.
Because that would be, you can't control everything because technology is technology, like you said. However, just them knowing that you can pick up the phone anytime and go in is enough to be a little deterrent for them.
Yeah, that's
so I would say to do that and to know those sites. I mean, a lot of people are tweeting, and so I'm going to start to tweet this so that I can know the whole process of how my son. And so that means you can go on and be a guest friend to your son or daughter.
Yeah.
Meet them and they don't even know it's you. So please be creative parents, you know, but we just want to keep our children safe. Thank you so much, Morgan, for your time and your information. And thank you, listeners, and please have a resilient week. And I'm going to go home and finish helping Miami win tonight, okay? So thank you, Mr. Page, and thank you for bringing your love to Twitter. And this has been a great conversation, and we look forward to next week. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a good week.